She said it like she was doing me a favor. We'd be better as friends. I don't want to hurt you. We were standing in her kitchen, not during a fight, not after some huge blow-up. Just a Tuesday night, her arms crossed, my shoes still on, her tone already rehearsed. Like she'd practiced it on the drive home. I said, okay. That was it. No begging. No follow-up questions. No dramatic pause. Just okay. For context, I'm Alex, 26M. She's Jenna, 25F. We'd been together a little over a year. Not casual. Not seeing where it goes. A real relationship. Met families. Shared keys. Inside jokes. Future talk. The whole thing. She blinked when I said it. I remember that part clearly. Like she was waiting for me to argue my case. Remind her how good we were. Promise to change whatever invisible thing she decided was wrong with me. Instead, I grabbed my jacket. She followed me to the door, suddenly softer. I really hope this doesn't ruin things, she said. I care about you. I just think, friends is healthier. I nodded again. Yeah, friends. She smiled, relieved. Actually relieved. Like she'd just dodged a scene she didn't want to deal with. Here's what she didn't know. I'd already felt her pulling away for weeks. The sarcasm that wasn't playful anymore. The way she corrected me in front of people. The eye rolls when I talked about work. The way every disagreement somehow turned into me being too sensitive. This wasn't sudden. It was just her deciding she was done before I was allowed to be. I went home, put my keys on the counter, and sat in the dark for a while. No music. No texting friends. Just letting it land. She texted me later that night. I hope you're okay. I just didn't want to string you along. I didn't reply. The next few days were quiet. Too quiet. No fighting. No closure talks. Just this unspoken assumption that I'd stay right where she left me. Emotionally available, conveniently single, waiting in the background under the label friend. She checked in once more, casually. We're still cool, right? I answered, yeah. And I meant it. Because by then, something had already shifted. The first week after the breakup was weirdly easy. That sounds wrong, I know. I expected the sleepless nights, the constant urge to text her, the replaying of conversations. Instead, it felt like the pressure in my chest finally backed off. Like I'd been holding my breath without realizing it. Jenna, on the other hand, leaned hard into the friends thing. She started reacting to my Instagram stories again. Not liking them, reacting. Fire emojis. Laughing faces. The kind of low-effort attention that says I still want access to you, just not responsibility. Then came the comments. If I posted something even mildly positive, she had something to say. Wow, you're really thriving already upside down face. Must be nice to move on so fast. Didn't realize we meant that little. I ignored most of it. We ran into each other that Friday at a mutual friend's birthday thing. I almost didn't go, but I refused to start shrinking my life because of her. She showed up late, loud, already irritated. The first thing she did was scan the room, find me, and lock her eyes onto whatever I was doing. I was laughing with someone. That alone seemed to annoy her. She walked up like nothing happened. Hey stranger, she said, bumping my shoulder. Didn't think you'd come. Why not? I asked. She shrugged. I don't know. Figured you'd need space or something. That was rich, coming from the person who dumped me and then hovered like a bad Wi-Fi signal. All night, she stayed close. Too close. Making little comments. Correcting me mid-story. Teasing me in that sharp, not funny way she'd perfected near the end of our relationship. At one point she leaned in and said, So, you holding up okay? I was worried you'd spiral. I looked at her and smiled. I'm good. She didn't like that answer. By the end of the night, she was clearly annoyed. Not at anything specific. Just unsettled. Like I wasn't performing the role she expected. The role where I missed her. Where I waited. Where I proved she mattered more than my own dignity. When I got home, I had a text from her already waiting. You were acting kind of distant tonight. I stared at my phone for a long moment before typing back. We're just friends. This is what that looks like. She didn't reply, but something told me that conversation wasn't over. Not even close. The shift happened quietly. About a week after the breakup, a coworker named Lily asked if I wanted to grab coffee after work. No big build-up. No date language. Just coffee. I almost said no out of habit. Then I realized why would I? So I went. It was easy. No tension. No walking on eggshells. No subtle jabs disguised as jokes. We talked about dumb work stuff, favorite places in the city, how weird adulthood feels when no one gives you a manual. I didn't post about it. I didn't mention it to anyone. It wasn't about proving anything. But somehow Jenna knew. She texted me that night. So you're already seeing someone? I stared at the screen, genuinely confused. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. I heard you were out with some girl. There it was. The edge. The accusation wrapped in entitlement. I replied honestly. I grabbed coffee with a coworker. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Wow. That was fast. Guess friends was just an excuse for you to move on. I almost laughed. She was the one who ended it. She was the one who said she didn't want to hurt me. And now somehow I was the villain for continuing to exist? I didn't respond. The next few days, her tone shifted completely. No more sarcasm. Now it was concern. Are you okay? You seem different lately. I just don't want things to be weird between us. Weird was her default setting. Then Lily and I went out again. This time dinner. This time intentional. Still slow. Still normal. Still drama-free. I posted a story. Just food and a table. No faces. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. Jenna. I didn't answer. She called again. Then she texted. Are you seriously ignoring me now? That was the moment it clicked. Her idea of friends didn't include me choosing someone else. It didn't include me being unavailable. It didn't include me not orbiting her emotions on demand. It was never about not hurting me. It was about not losing access. And the second she felt that access slipping, she panicked. I put my phone face down and went back to my dinner. For the first time in a long time, I felt calm. The calls didn't stop after that night. They escalated. First it was frustration. So this is how you treat someone you care about. Then guilt. I thought we were mature enough to stay in each other's lives. Then the classic rewrite of history. You're acting like I cheated on you or something. I was honest. Isn't that what you wanted? I didn't answer any of it. 2 days later, she showed up at my place. No warning. No text. Just a knock like she still belonged there. I opened the door, already annoyed. She walked in like she owned the air. Looked around. Took in the changes. My jacket on a different hook. A plant she hated on the windowsill. So, she said, arms crossed. You're really doing this. Doing what? I asked. Cutting me off. Replacing me. I let out a slow breath. You broke up with me. She scoffed. Don't twist it. I said friends. That wasn't a pause button, I said. That was an ending. Her face tightened. Wow. I didn't realize you were this petty. There it was. The same word she always used when I didn't play along. I stayed calm. You don't get to decide how I move on. She laughed, sharp and humorless. I just didn't expect you to move on this fast. That sentence said everything. Not move on. Move on before she was ready. She paced my living room, talking at me now. I thought we had something mature. I thought you respected me enough to not jump into something else immediately. I met her eyes. Respect goes both ways. She froze, like she hadn't expected resistance. So what? You're just done with me, she snapped. I shrugged. I'm done waiting. Silence stretched between us. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Finally she said, quieter, you're really not going to fight for this? And that was the breaking point. The moment everything in me shut the door. I shook my head. No, not angry, not cruel, just final. Her expression changed then. Panic flickered underneath the attitude. She grabbed her bag. Fine, she said. Don't come crawling back. I didn't respond. When the door closed behind her, I felt something solidify in my chest. Not relief. Not victory. Clarity. And I knew she wasn't done yet. The week after she came to my place was when Jenna fully unraveled. It started with late-night texts. The kind that pretend to be casual, but aren't. Do you ever think about us? I keep remembering inside jokes, and it's messing with my head. I didn't think you'd just disappear like this. I didn't answer. Then came the mood swings. One morning I woke up to, I hope she's worth it. By lunchtime, I'm genuinely happy for you. I just want you to be okay. By night, you know, for someone who claimed to love me, you moved on disgustingly fast. That last one almost got a response. Almost. Instead, I muted the thread. That's when she changed tactics. She started posting. Not subtle stuff either. Mirror selfies with captions about choosing herself. Stories at bars she used to complain about. Quotes about knowing your worth, layered over moody black and white photos. And then, like clockwork, she watched everything I posted. Every story, every like, every follow. She didn't interact anymore. She just monitored. A mutual friend texted me one night. Hey, just a heads up, Jenna's been asking who you're seeing. I replied, I'm not hiding anything. I know, he said. She's just not taking it well. That made me laugh. Not because it was funny, but because of how predictable it was. She didn't miss me. She missed control. She missed being the reference point in my life. The next time she reached out, it was different. Can we talk? Not fight. Just talk. I agreed to meet her for coffee. Public place. Neutral ground. Closure, I thought. She arrived early. Sat across from me with that familiar tight smile. So, she said, this whole thing got out of hand. You ended it, I replied. She waved it off. I meant temporarily. I just needed space. You weren't supposed to replace me. There it was. Out loud. I stared at her. That's not how breakups work. She leaned forward. I just think you owe me a little time before, whatever this is. I stood up, dropped a few bills on the table, and said the only thing left to say. I don't owe you anything. Her mouth opened, closed, and for the first time since all of this started, she didn't have a comeback. I walked out knowing one thing for sure. She wasn't losing me. She already had. I thought that would be the end of it. It wasn't. 2 days after the coffee talk, she blocked me. On everything. Instagram, Twitter, even Spotify, which honestly felt petty but on brand. I noticed because the silence suddenly felt loud. Like she wanted me to notice she was gone. Like blocking me was supposed to hurt, or scare me, or pull some reaction out of me. I didn't react. Then, 3 days later, she unblocked me. No message. Just quietly reversed it, probably hoping I'd rush in with a "Hey, why'd you block me?" text. I didn't. That's when she started reaching out through other people. A friend told me, Jenna says you're being cold and punishing her. Another said, she thinks you're doing this to make her jealous. The irony almost gave me whiplash. Meanwhile, things with Lily were normal. That was the shocking part. No power games. No emotional audits. No comments disguised as jokes. She asked how my day was and actually listened to the answer. One night, while we were walking back from dinner, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I knew it was her before I answered. What? I said. Her voice cracked immediately. Why are you doing this to me? I stopped walking. Doing what? Pretending I don't exist, she snapped. Moving on like I never mattered. I stayed quiet. You said we'd be friends, she continued. Friends don't replace each other in a week. I didn't replace you, I said calmly. You removed yourself. She scoffed. That's such a convenient way to spin it. No, I replied. It's just the truth. There was a pause. Then she said something that finally made it all clear. I thought you'd always be there. Not with her. Not committed. Just there. Available. On standby. Safe. I'm not that guy anymore, I said. Her tone hardened instantly. So she's more important than me now? I answered without hesitation. Yes. She hung up. And for the first time since the breakup, I didn't feel anything afterward. No guilt. No doubt. Just certainty. Because sometimes the moment you choose yourself is the exact moment someone else realizes they no longer control you. After that call, things went quiet again. Too quiet. No texts. No surprise appearances. No mutual friends, just checking in. For the first time since the breakup, Jenna actually disappeared. And that should have been the relief part. Instead, it felt like the calm before something worse. A week passed. Lily and I were officially dating by then. Not rushed, not dramatic, just mutual. Easy. The kind of easy that makes you realize how hard you were working before just to keep someone mildly satisfied. That's when Jenna resurfaced. Not directly. Publicly. She posted a long story, white background, black text, very intentional. About being discarded. About men who can't handle strong women. About how some people only pretend to love you until something shinier comes along. I didn't need names. Everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. My phone lit up. Is she talking about you? Dude, yikes. You okay? I was okay. What bothered me wasn't the post. It was the rewrite. The way she framed herself as the victim of a story she authored. Later that night, Lily asked gently, is she going to be a problem? I paused before answering. She doesn't like losing. That turned out to be an understatement. The next morning, Jenna texted me for the first time in over a week. I see you're happy pretending I never existed. I replied once. I'm not pretending. I'm moving on. Her response came instantly. So everything we had meant nothing? I stared at the message, then typed the sentence that finally shut something down inside me. It meant something. It just doesn't anymore. She didn't reply. Instead, she blocked me again. This time, I didn't check. I didn't care. Because I finally understood what she wanted all along. Not reconciliation, not friendship, not even closure. She wanted leverage. And the moment she lost it, she turned bitter. That was the moment I stopped worrying about how she felt. Because I was done being the emotional safety net for someone who only noticed its value once it was gone. The real panic didn't start until Jenna realized blocking me didn't do anything. No dramatic post from me. No sad quotes. No sudden interest in her life. Nothing. That's when she crossed the line she couldn't uncross. She showed up at Lily's place. I wasn't there. Thank God. Lily told me later she heard a knock, opened the door, and found a woman she didn't recognize standing there with folded arms and a tight smile. You must be Lily, Jenna said. Lily, confused but polite, nodded. Yeah, I'm Jenna, Alex's ex. That was how she introduced herself. Not friend. Not someone he used to date. Ex. Like a title she wanted to reclaim. I just wanted to meet the girl who replaced me. Jenna continued, looking Lily up and down like she was inspecting damage. Lily crossed her arms. I didn't replace anyone. Jenna laughed. That's cute. You say that? Then she dropped it. He's not over me, she said flatly. He just thinks he is. Lily didn't raise her voice. Didn't get defensive. She just said, you need to leave. Jenna scoffed. You should be careful. He shuts down. That's his thing. One day he'll do it to you too. Lily replied, if you don't leave right now, I'm calling someone. That finally did it. Jenna left, but not before saying, you'll see. When Lily told me, I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not fear. Resolve. I texted Jenna for the first time in weeks. Do not contact her again. This is your only warning. She replied within seconds. Wow. So now you care. That was it. The last thread snapped. If you come near either of us again, I'll handle it formally. She didn't respond. Instead, she posted another story that night about women stealing men who weren't fully healed. I watched it once, then blocked her everywhere. No speeches, no explanations, just done. Because the truth was simple. She didn't want me back. She wanted to prove she could still reach me. And this time, she couldn't. Blocking her felt final in a way nothing else had. No more wondering if she'd text. No more bracing myself when my phone buzzed. No more mental math about whether responding would make things worse. The silence wasn't empty this time. It was clean. A few days later, a mutual friend told me Jenna was not doing great. Apparently, she'd been telling people I blindsided her, that I led her on, that I emotionally replaced her before she even had time to process the breakup she initiated. I didn't correct anyone. That's the thing people don't tell you. Sometimes peace comes from letting someone believe whatever version of you they need to survive their own choices. Life moved on fast after that. In a good way. Lily met my friends. Not with performative charm, not with subtle competitiveness, just genuine interest. She didn't try to impress anyone. She didn't need to. She was steady, present, kind without keeping score. One night we were cooking dinner together, music playing low, and she looked at me and said, you know, you don't flinch anymore. What do you mean? I asked. Like you're waiting for the mood to change, she said. You used to check my face every time you talked. You don't do that now. I hadn't noticed. But she was right. I wasn't bracing anymore. A week after that, I got one final message from an unknown account. I never thought you'd actually choose someone else over me. I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted it without replying. Because the truth was simpler than anything I could explain. I didn't choose someone else over her. I chose myself after her. And once you do that, there's no going back to being someone's backup plan. I thought that was the end of the story. I was wrong. There was still one more moment. Quiet, small, but decisive. That put everything in its final place. The last moment didn't come with a confrontation. No text. No call. No dramatic scene. It came on a random Thursday afternoon when I ran into Jenna at the grocery store. I almost didn't recognize her at first. Same hair, same face, but something was off. The sharp confidence she used to wear like armor was gone. She looked smaller, tired, like someone who'd spent too long replaying a story that no longer had an audience. She noticed me and froze. For a second, neither of us moved. Then she walked over, slow, cautious. No attitude this time. No edge. Hey, she said quietly. Hey, I replied. We stood there between the produce and the dairy aisle, the most normal place imaginable for the end of something that once felt huge. I heard you're doing well, she said. I am. She nodded, eyes dropping to the floor. I didn't think you'd actually stick to it. Stick to what? Letting go, she admitted. That was the first honest thing she'd said in months. She took a breath. I really thought you'd come back eventually. You always did. There it was. Not accusation. Not bitterness. Just truth. I'm not angry, she added quickly. I just didn't expect to lose you. I looked at her then. Really looked, and realized something important. She wasn't my problem anymore. I didn't leave to punish you, I said. I left because staying meant disappearing. She swallowed hard. I hope you're happy, she said. I am, I replied. And for the first time, it wasn't defensive or explanatory. It just was. We stood there another second, then she stepped aside. Take care, Alex, she said. You too. I walked away, grabbed what I needed, paid, and went home to a life that felt steady instead of tense. Chosen instead of tolerated. And that was it. No revenge. No closure speech. No crawling back. Just the quiet certainty that when she said, "We'd be better as friends," what she really meant was stay where I can reach you. And when I said, "Okay," what I actually meant was goodbye.